How about them Cowboys? It's the Cowboys Squad, sponsored by Game Time. Everything Dallas Cowboys every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from America's team the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Cowboys Squad Show, starting now.
Well, it is the debut of the Postgame Cowboys Squad Show. The NFL preseason is underway. It's kind of bittersweet because I'm so excited to have football back today. And a Cowboys game, the first game of the preseason. We've been talking about this, pointing this out, waiting for this game. Finally got here today. Some good, some bad, some ugly on the field tonight in LA at SoFi. 31-21, the Cowboys fall to the Rams in LA. That is the co-host of the daily Locked On Cowboys podcast, Marcus Mosher. And right there is the one and only former Cowboys coach, Glenn Stretch Smith. We want to hear from you. We're going to be here for the next hour with live post-game reaction. Want to hear from you, your comments via the comment crew. But let's kind of get your opening thoughts. I think right now, for me, my initial thing is I hope Joe Milton is okay and that he didn't re-aggravate that thumb injury and it's nothing serious or major that's going to keep him out. Good to see Will Greer out there, but
yeah, so I could add to the Milton thing. It's actually an elbow injury for Joe Milton. I saw he, I wasn't quite sure. He got hit a little bit, and then he was holding his elbow. And then they tried to let him throw in the sideline.
Yeah,
he couldn't throw the ball. Like he tried to wind it back, and he was having some major pain. Now, it wasn't because he hit his funny bone. Did he get a bruise? You're hoping it's not the worst case scenario here, but it's an elbow injury. And that's always concerning.
Very much so. When you have to pronate that in order to get the torque on the football, there's no question that's. It is one of those things where you hope it's just, it's just a short-term nerve thing, but it's concerning that he couldn't get it back in the time frame that he was trying to get that back and get some feeling back in there.
No, and I actually saw him walking back to the tunnel. And he was still holding his elbow. So that's, that happened, 15, 20 minutes, prior to that. So obviously not a great sign. We'll get an update, but I do feel like we need to talk about how he performed in this game because there were a lot of Cowboy fans that were excited about the Joe Milton experience, coach, and it was on full display in this one.
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you from a positive standpoint that I saw is that he got an opportunity to do it. I mean, he needed every single one of those reps that he got. Did he move around and make a throw here, there? Yeah. But I mean, missed some wide open guys. And to me, that will come, but it's going to come only, and it is going to come only with playing time. You're not going to get it in practice. And so I'm going to go back to this injury. I hope it's not got him dinged where he's not going to be able to play next week because he needs every single rep he can get.
So I wanted to ask you, Coach, because you're right. He needs all these reps. But at the same time, it's awfully hard to evaluate the offense and these receivers when you have a quarterback who can't hit the broadside of a barn, right? Like they were having trouble just getting a first down in the first half. And like someone like Nathan Thomas, right? Your left tackle who you want to evaluate. The Cowboys said they were going to play him the whole first quarter and into the second quarter. He played 10 snaps because they literally had 1 yard of offense after the first quarter. At what point do the Cowboys have to consider, either playing more of Will Greer or going out and getting some other backup just to facilitate practice in the preseason games?
Well, I mean, I don't like that you've only got 3 guys in camp. I don't like that. What I understand that they're doing is they're having to use that number, obviously, in the secondary because we'll get to that in a minute. But bringing a veteran guy in is probably something that they're going to have to take a hard look at depending on this injury. And it is hard to evaluate guys off of the TV copy. It's not hard to evaluate guys. You know, if you're looking at the film, do you want the ball delivered on time? Do you want the ball delivered where it should be? Absolutely. But at the end of the day here, this young man needs ample reps, and the only way that's going to happen is in a game. And so really unfortunate that they had to take him out when they did.
Yeah, the problem is some of these receivers are open. Like we saw in the first half, like some of these guys are getting open, like Ryan Flournoy, and they're not even getting a chance to make a play on the football. Luke Schoonmaker was open on a corner route, and the ball was so poorly overthrown that he wasn't even in the area code of the ball. So listen, I understand that Joe Milton has a lot of talent. I think it's worth investing in it. But what we saw out there tonight, man, it's just so hard to evaluate anybody on offense because the quarterback was that bad.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm not disagreeing one bit of what you're saying. What I'm telling you is that if you want to truly see what you have in Joe Milton, and this was opposite of what they did with Trey Lance, because it was like you had to wait forever to see what you really had in Trey Lance. I love it that they just put him out there and let him go. And guess what? If he misses, he misses. And that's what you saw him do tonight. I mean, you saw him miss throws that an NFL quarterback cannot miss. And that's the concerning side of it to me.
Yeah, I know he hit his thumb during practice during the week, and obviously he was okay. He was able to start tonight. I thought Milton got a little bit better as the game went on. I thought actually the touchdown and the 2-point try were actually really nice throws. The touchdown pass to my favorite name, Rivaldo Fairweather. That was a really good throw. And then the 2-point throw to Josh Kelly, those were good. And just a bummer that he had to come out, because I thought, like, okay, maybe he was getting some confidence and was finishing the game well. And now this is going to be a setback for sure. Hopefully not serious.
And Jeff, one more thing. As I was watching the first half, and you're right, he did settle down as the game goes on. We should also mention that by the time we were getting into third and fourth quarter, the Rams were down to their, third team defense. So that's worth pointing out.
Yeah.
I was just watching that game thinking the Cowboys have a quarterback who has missed significant time over the last 5 seasons with injuries. If this guy has to come into a game, I don't feel good about it at all. And honestly, I think Joe Milton needs to be on the roster, but I was kind of going through some of the depth charts across the league. Like, hey, is there a backup quarterback out there that can give you decent production? Because, man, if Milton has to play a game, that is going to be a wild ride and not in any good sense.
That's a great point.
I think what you said is exactly right. And I can guarantee you right now that the personnel department is scouring, trying to figure out. And I was just looking right there on my phone. Like, I don't know. There has to, who it's got to be somebody who lists who the top free agent quarterback is out there right now, because they need to be on the phone with that person right now. I mean, whoever is on, and I'm talking about who's on the street right now. They may have to bring multiple guys in here and give multiple guys tryouts, because I'm like you, if you even remotely got out of this game, anything out of this game tonight, you better have taken out of this football game on the offensive side of the football that this kid is light years away from being what you would consider a functional guy like they had in Cooper Rush. That's just my feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even Cooper Rush wasn't good enough last year. So I think that the top free agent, I believe, don't quote me, I think it's Carson Wentz. And honestly, that might not be a bad option here.
Yeah, I've said for years, it's stunning to me that the backup quarterback position, I mean, you could make a case, arguably one of the, if not the most important positions on the team, right? I mean, if quarterback is number one, backup should be up there, and you need to stop.
there's teams have very different philosophies on
Yeah.
the backup quarterback, right?
You're right.
Some teams really, really value it. And then there's other teams. I remember Tom Moore, who worked with the Colts with Peyton Manning in the early 2000s. And they talked about why they didn't really invest in a backup then. It's because he said, hey, if Peyton Manning is out, we're blanked, right? And we don't practice blanked, right? So basically effective, hey, if our quarterback is out, it doesn't matter anyways. I think that's kind of a bad philosophy to have, but it sure seems like that's what the Cowboys are doing here.
Yeah, that's scary. I mean, when you pause and think about that for a minute, I mean, Dak goes down early in a game again this season, which is not, it's not far fetched. I mean, that's not like saying, that couldn't happen. I mean, that's your whole season right there.
Yeah, which that's why I won't be surprised. Like if they are scouring the waiver wire, like I wonder if Cleveland is going to keep 4 quarterbacks. If they don't, maybe you pick up a Kenny Pickett or a Joe Flacco or somebody like that.
Right.
They have time, and there's going to be guys available. But just based on what we saw tonight and factoring in Joe Milton's now elbow injury, like Coach said, they're going to have to sign somebody.
All right. Well, they have, and we'll talk more about the game here in a minute. They're off tomorrow. They're going to practice Tuesday, Wednesday. They come back Thursday, and then the Ravens 1 week from tonight. So, not a ton of time in there. So it's going to be a busy week for sure. See what they can do.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. They're on the phone right now. Literally right now, they are looking for somebody. They're calling agents right now as we speak. I can promise you that. I can promise you they are looking to get somebody on a flight to Oxnard, regardless, because they've got to shore up that situation. And it's just, that's. I mean,
Coach, how's your arm? Can you start loosening up? You got the size to be behind center.
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm left-handed. I spin it the wrong way, but I got an 18-year-old son who can flat rip it, and what? He wouldn't have missed that deep over tonight. I can
there you go.
That.
It's a proud papa right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Can't wait to see him play. But yeah, back to some of the misses though. I mean, they were pretty bad. The Milton, the pickoff in the end zone, had a couple of wide open misses. That part was disappointing.
And that's the thing that separates these really talented quarterbacks from the guys that are actually good starters, is they do the routine things routinely. Like, for example, on the interception that he had down the field, there was a little bit of pressure. Milton escaped it. He had the running back right in the flat for an easy 7 yards. You move on, you get to 1st and 10 from the 40, and you live to fight another day. Instead, he tries to make a wild throw down the field into double coverage. It's like, just take the layup throw that's there. Get your team into a good scoring position. There's other times where guys are open and he's just seeing it a second late, and you can't be a second late in the NFL, even if you got a rocket launcher attached to your shoulder. That just doesn't work in the league because everybody's too fast. He just needs to speed up his processor and be more accurate and more decisive on the little things. That's how you improve as a quarterback.
And the only way that's going to happen is to be in the game and to get all of that teaching time that he got. I mean, he's got all kinds of film now that he's going to need to go take a look at and then understand. I mean, to miss that inside seam throw that he threw really poorly into the ground. I don't care how big your arm is, man. There are guys that can throw the ball all over the place and it can wing it way down the field. That the ability to drive the nose of the football in a tight window, that's what separates an NFL quarterback. And so I really am. I'm to the point where, and I don't know if I don't want to overreact. If I'd heard so much about this young man and I'd watched him play at Tennessee, and I come out of the night with somewhat of a nothing burger from what I saw.
I'm with you.
Fair point. All right, let's take our first time out. When we come back, I want to get some other thoughts on what we saw tonight. Want to hear from you via the comment crew. We'll do that when we come back as well. Also, we'll try to see if we hear anything, right, Marcus? We'll see if we can hear anything on Joe Milton from.
Should have an update after the break.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, we'll do that when we come back. Cowboys dropped their preseason opener in LA to the Rams, 31-21. This is the Cowboys Squad Show. All right, well, as you know, if you ever wish managing your money felt a little bit easier with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch Money puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, and spending all in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you are also building wealth. And if you ever were wondering or thought, hey, is there a way to have all your accounts and spending in one place? You can do that with Monarch Money. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. All right, welcome back to the Cowboys Squad Show. That is Marcus Mosher along with the coach, Glenn Stretch Smith. The Cowboys fall to the Rams in LA 31-21. We've been talking primarily so far about Joe Milton, who came out of the game in the fourth quarter with an apparent elbow injury. Marcus, any word yet from the locker room?
Yeah, we got an update from Brian Schottenheimer, who said they did some initial tests on Joe Milton. They think he's going to be okay. There's going to be some bruising. It sounds like he just got hit hard on that elbow, but it does sound like he's going to be okay. We'll see what it looks like later in the week, but they don't think this is a long-term injury.
Okay, well, that's good. Obviously better a bruise than any kind of structural damage or ligament damage, for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. To your point, the way the game started, it looked like, oh boy, this was really going to get ugly. 1 yard in the first quarter, a minute and 34 seconds in of possession in that first quarter. Thankfully, the Cowboys settled down a little bit, were able to get some points on the board, and then they played, I thought, a lot better, all things considered, in the second half with who they played. Or some of the other highlights that stood out to both of you?
Coach, why don't you go first? I'm going to have to really dig into my notebook to find some highlights here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought overall you saw some good things from the offensive line. There were multiple times I saw them pick up, stunts up front, be able to pass off stunts up front. I thought Awesome Richards and Bass and Hoffman, did what they needed to do. And I'm saying, as far as solidifying themselves as good backup offensive linemen. Makuamu, to me, is a little bit of kind of a enigma a little bit. I mean, he looks like he can really run. He's got some ball skills. He can cover down the field. But then I see him one time in the slot, and it's him to go play leverage and make a tackle. And I mean, I'm talking about complete whiff on the back. And so that's concerning to me. But if you're asking me what I saw that I felt like was something that I could build on, it was the offensive line. Other than that, not a very physical football team. I don't like that. I don't like when you get your ass knocked off the football. They already saw it in a scrimmage. And so is it something you can correct? Yeah, it's something you can correct. But I mean, your pad level needs to change right now. And secondary wise, what they put out there to start the game with, you know, a lack of speed became evident. The ability to run kind of become a little bit eye-opening to me from a secondary standpoint. I mean, you get guys that run by you 2 or 3 times in a row. That kind of sends your red flag up a little bit.
So I wanted to talk about Mukambu really quickly because he's been somebody in training camp, has been working with the first team sparingly, but playing in the slot. Like all the beat reporters out of camp think he's got an option to start in week 1 in the slot with Kyrie Elam and Deron Bland. That might be the case, but coach, he was also on the final defensive plays, like in the 4th quarter playing, which generally isn't a very good sign. Like those are guys that are fighting for roster spots, not starting spots. But you're right. He's an enigma because he's 6'4". He's 215 pounds. He can run. He's long. He recorded his 4th interception in the preseason over the last 4 years. So clearly he makes plays, but you're always wanting a little bit more. That's why he's such a frustrating player.
And it almost looks like, and I don't want to overreact on one game, but I mean, football instincts and being instinctive matter. It really does matter. I'm going to tell you who else I think needs a ton of playing time is the kid from Boston College. I mean, I thought pronounce his name Ezaraku. Am I pronouncing
Donovan Ezaraku? Yep.
Yeah, he needs. He's the Milton of the defense. He needs to play every snap because he'll flash and do some really good things, and then he'll, like, the ball will be coming right at him. And one time he went hard inside and he got washed 4 yards down the field. And so, you know, I kind of snickered because about that time one of the guys on TV goes, "Well, he looks a lot like a Pro Football Hall of Fame." I'm not even going to say who he said he looked like, but you're like, no, he doesn't look like that.
We should mention he didn't play very much in this game. He only played right now, according to my tracking, he had 17 total snaps in this game, which honestly, I thought it would be more than that. Yeah. I thought they would play him like the entire first half because
he needs double those snaps. I'm just telling you. I mean,
17 snaps.
He needs to play. He needs to play football, and a lot of pluses. I mean, I saw some things where you can get enamored with him because he can really flash at you, but he needs to be playing a bunch of football so that he can have the learning side of that.
Yeah. And you know, he's going to be buried a little bit on the step chart. You know, once you get Micah Parsons back, you've got Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon. Like, this is the time for him to go out there and play, which I wanted to talk to you about this, Coach, because I know every team has different philosophies on how they handle the preseason. Some of it, you know, really treat it hard. There's some teams that game plan. I was watching the Jets tonight, and they're running some like super exotic blitzes against the Packers' first team offense. And but the whole point is that every team takes these preseason games differently. The Cowboys pretty clearly don't value them. That's why a bunch of these guys didn't play. I got to believe Tyler Booker was the only first-round pick this week that's healthy that didn't play a snap. Like, everybody else is playing across the league and Tyler Booker's not. Maybe that tells you what the Cowboys think of him, but it's pretty clear, like, anybody that the Cowboys thought was valuable wasn't going to play in this game.
I mean, if Jacksonville can play a Heisman Trophy guy both ways in the preseason game, I'm not saying Liam Cohen values it differently than Schottenheimer may value it. What I am saying is,
but you're kind of, I mean, but you're right. Like, if you're willing to play Trevor Lawrence multiple series, you're playing Travis Hunter both ways in a preseason game, and the Cowboys feel like, hey, Cooper Beebe, a 3rd-round center going into year 2, you don't even need to play this game. Kind of tells you what we think of them in the preseason.
Well, my gut feeling is you've got to get a little burn in these games. You need a little burn. I mean, you need a little of that. Get your motor going. And I'm not saying those guys needed 15 snaps, but I damn sure would have given them 8 to 10 snaps. I can promise you that. And why he values it the way he does, I don't know. Why does this organization value it that way? I don't know. I mean, you look at, then you say they need some burn, and then you flip on Indianapolis in the second series. I mean, they turn the protection, and the back runs right by the defensive end, and he just kills Richardson. So I see why. I get it, but I mean, then I look at a team like Cincinnati, who has started slow the last 2 years, and said, "Hey, we're putting Joe Burrow out there." And now is Joe Burrow going to go down and just pick apart, knowing that you're playing 3 coverages? Hell yeah, he is, and that's what he did. But their mentality is, we have a game plan here. And maybe the Cowboys do have a plan. I don't know, but
the Rams are another team. I mean, you saw it tonight. Like, anybody that was worth, their spit, right, was not playing for the Rams. No Matt Stafford, no Devontae Adams, no Puka, no offensive lineman, no defensive lineman. I mean, now those guys played really well. You give them credit. They're obviously one of the most well-coached teams in the league. But the Rams have never valued preseason, and they've been fine as well. They've also gotten off to some really slow starts to start the year. So maybe there's a correlation, maybe there's not. But I would expect, Coach, that next week against Baltimore at home, we're going to see the Cowboys play some more starters, because after how bad they look this week, I kind of think you need to build at least some positive momentum going into week 2.
Well, and get a little burn. I mean, LA's what they've been in camp an extra week than you have. They have an extra game than you have. Is that correct? Like, they went in, or is it 10 days?
That was the Chargers.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's all right.
So the Rams. Right. The Rams are equivalent to the Cowboys. You're saying, okay, well, yeah. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware who played it. I guess I drew a brain fart there. LA to LA, for crying out loud. But that makes it even more concerning for me. I don't like that at all. I wanted to know that they'd been in camp a little while longer. But
let me ask you this.
I'm looking for a nugget to give somebody, for crying out loud, because I'm texting Marcus during the game going, I don't like this at all.
I got a player that I thought played really well. Can I give it to you, Jeff, so we can be a little bit positive before our next break?
Yeah.
I thought Shamar James, the Cowboys rookie linebacker. Now, he got beat a little bit in coverage in the second half of the game, but I saw a lot of really good things from him, coming downhill, making some plays in the backfield. Wasn't getting a lot of help from his defensive tackles. That's for another time, but made some plays in the run game. He had a pass deflection, where he was dropping back in coverage, just hit his hands. Unfortunately, that ball bounced into a receiver's hands, but he was one of the guys that I thought looked really, really well, or played really well. And Maris Leofau, the Cowboys, third round pick from last year, both those guys I thought played well. Make me feel a little bit better about the linebacker situation going into the year.
Yeah, and I saw Damone Clark too make a couple plays, so I'm fine with the second level guys. I thought you saw them. They'll be okay at that second level if they don't get knocked off the football.
Yeah.
All right. I do have one other coaching question that I want to ask you, both of you, but Coach, I want to ask you when we come back, and I think it ties into what you were talking about as well, Marcus. We'll do that when we come back. The Cowboys have played their preseason opener, but there's a lot of work still to be done with 2 more games before the regular season opener against the Eagles on Thursday night, September 5th. We'll get into that and more. Final half hour coming up. This is the Cowboys Squad Show. All right, well, it's that time of the year. I know somebody that went to a big fantasy football event at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but I'm not going to mention his name. But this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. It is the best time of the year. NFL kickoff is almost here, and that means fantasy football season is back in full swing. I have one of my drafts coming up on Monday night, and this year, Yahoo Fantasy is turning things up with a fantasy football experience like never before. Again, for those, if you're playing on Yahoo Fantasy, you should too, whether you're a first timer or a veteran making your millionth league. So to celebrate 28 years of fantasy football greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout this month of August. To kick it off, they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, or Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play fantasy football on Yahoo, where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated each week until there's one team left standing. With the season around the corner, now is the time to get your league together and give this new mode a try. If you're more into the classics, you can still play in head-to-head private leagues, or you can even join a public league. So stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football now at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. All right, well, we're going to get Marcus back, or maybe we won't. We'll see. I know Marcus was staying on as long as he could. Welcome back to the Cowboys postcast. That is the coach, former Cowboys coach, Glenn Stretch Smith. Cowboys fall tonight to the Rams in LA, 31-21. Again, one game, preseason game. A lot of people didn't play. But I'm curious, Coach, from a coaching perspective, new Cowboys D coordinator Matt Eberflus was pretty hot for at least the first half. It kind of settled down, but I'm wondering, when you add in that with the fact that did it look? You could tell, Coach, that the Cowboys are playing with a new head coach and new coaches, and they just seem a little bit behind in that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was looking for a reason to say that they were behind, knowing that there was an LA team in that Hall of Fame game. I'm trying to think, okay, what angle can we go out here? It's a rough first outing. That's the only way I know to put it. Football's how you respond, what you respond to. You see Rochelle and Booth out there that are starting corners, and I get it. They're playing guys that are way down the depth chart. I understand that. I didn't like the feel of how the first quarter went of the football game when the Rams went bang, 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 scored, 3 and out, bow, 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 score. And you're like, oh my goodness. I mean, they're playing their down the line guys too. And then you stop and you start thinking, okay, do I need to look down the roster here? And do I need to really think, is Corum, the back out of Michigan, are we comparing him to Deuce Vaughn? I mean, is that what we're talking about? Because really that's what we were seeing. And I want to see these guys get as much playing time as they can. But from a coaching standpoint, it did not look very good. From a playing standpoint, you could point to one or two things here or there, and I've already done that. I mean, I think the offensive line played, pretty well. Defensive line has a lot of work to do. Physicality's got a ways to go. Second level guys, linebackers, I thought showed a little promise, and then the secondary it's going to have to be a big time work in progress. So then you see offense, and all we've heard about all year is how strong arm this guy is and what a big arm he's got and all that. And then you miss those kind of throws. I don't care how strong your arm is. If you're a National Football League quarterback, you've got to make tight window throws. And nothing showed me tonight in game one that he can do that. And all I can point to then is to say, he's got to get more playing time in order to give himself a real chance to be evaluated.
Yeah, and I think too. I think we have to point out Joe Milton did get. He played quite a bit last season with the Titans, so it's not like he's a rookie or a guy that is just getting his first snaps in NFL play.
Right. But at the same time, we got to think about it's a new offense. He's trying to learn new terminology, all the things that
no starters.
And with speeding up the way it did, the game speeds up very, very fast at this level. And I'm hard pressed to come up and say I feel confident in him being an NFL number 2, because what I saw tonight is blatantly obvious that he's got a lot of work to do, and Dallas needs to see what options are out there. if Lord willing, I hope that Dak can stay healthy the whole year, because right now what I saw there, there's no way I could have confidence in him even finishing an NFL game.
Yeah, and I guess the other side of the coin, Coach, I wanted to ask is that there was so much momentum and good vibes. We talked about it the entire off season about the new culture and everything that Coach Schottenheimer wanted to do, and I'm not discarding that. And again, I'm not trying to go overboard here with one loss in the preseason, but with that said, when you have a performance like tonight, primarily with guys that aren't going to get a lot of playing time, or even some that aren't going to make the team, but still, I would think from a coaching standpoint, right, you'll have a lot to work with here to to fuel practice when you get back at it on Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of boxes to check here, Jeff. I mean, I'm from the school that I really do. I want to see if the Cowboys are going to bring in some guys to work out Monday. I'm talking about some quarterbacks to work out Monday. I mean, I'd be on the phone with Wentz right now. I'd be looking to see what I could do to try to, juggle the scenario. But they're already doing that on the defensive backside, and I think, I think you're going to have to keep doing that. You're going to have to keep stirring the bottom of this roster, because what it showed you tonight is the Rams have a better bottom end of their roster than you do. I don't care if you didn't take anything else out of the football game. And so the mentality is, well, we got to get better here. We got to see, we got to see if we can load this up a little bit.
All right. I'm curious what we didn't get to see the main group of running backs, and we probably won't in the preseason, but we saw a little bit of Deuce Vaughn. Doesn't look like it just seems like I just don't see a role with him. It's hard to see. It seems like these roster spots are going to be at such a premium. I thought that the rookie Phil Maffa looked okay, considering what he was running behind. Malik Davis late in the game got some big runs. Did you see anything there?
I mean, other than the same thing you saw. I mean, they're playing against down the line guys, and you want to see those guys hit it in there. And as much as I like Deuce Vaughn, I just don't know. I don't know where you put him to where he can have a success at this level because of his size. I don't know.
Especially with Cavante Turpin, right?
I mean, you've already got that particular guy out there. So, boy, I mean, for the first time, I can really say that I pushed away from this game, and I thought, man, oh man, I mean, this team's got a long way to go in a very short time here. If in fact what we saw is, and we saw guys that are going to have to play. I mean, you saw guys that are going to have to contribute. Awesome Richards, Hoffman, Bass. At some point this year, those guys are going to have to contribute. And so it's good that they got that playing time. And I hope a week from now, when they go again, we've got some better things to say, because it was, for lack of a better term, it was a painful watch.
Do you think there's any chance what we saw tonight could change their plans or change their thought process on who plays in the preseason and who doesn't? Or do you think that's set in stone? And who makes that call?
Yeah, I would say that they probably, they're going to have a discussion about it, but I think they already have a game plan for what they want to do. So, is it open for discussion that maybe a few guys get more snaps? Maybe we get a few more guys in there, possibly. Do I think we'll see either one of the backs? Maybe, maybe here against Baltimore we might.
Yeah,
it really is. It's a situation here where. I'll just be honest. I mean, it wasn't very good looking.
Yeah, and I guess, Coach, I mean, you can tell me from a coach's perspective. It's, I would think, kind of a fine line. I mean, on one hand, you want to have faith that, okay, my veterans, my starters, I have faith in them. I believe in them. I know that week 1 against the Eagles, they'll be ready to go. They'll practice hard and they'll be ready to go. But then you think of the other side of it. Well, man, we can't afford, we can't afford 2 or 3 weeks to kind of ease in. I mean, with their schedule and the way the division is. And then there's the third part of the coin, not two, but like you pointed out earlier, the injuries are real. I mean, they do happen, and you kind of have to be all in, right? You can't play a couple guys here, but because then you're having starters play with third string guys, and that's dangerous.
Well, and I mean, let's just say Milton is dinged a little bit. I mean, are you going to put your one offensive line out there to take snaps from Will Grier? I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I'm telling you, I'd bet a lot of money that they are trying to figure out how to get a veteran quarterback in here right now, and I just don't know who that is. I mean, I really don't. I don't know how you. I don't know how you go about that. I don't. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think from a personnel standpoint. Would Will McClay and his staff have seen enough out of what they saw to either have confidence one way or another to make, and I'm not at camp. I'm not going to camp. I have no interest in going to camp, but maybe they've seen some things in camp that's better than what they saw here. But I know, I say it all the time, and I used to say it to the guys I coached. I mean, practice is like writing in it's like writing in a pencil, because guess what? We can erase it. We can change some things in practice. But when you put it on film, it's in a Sharpie. And that film's going to be there forever. Every personnel guy in the league is going to be able to access that film, and you're putting Sharpie work out there, and quite frankly, it wasn't very sharp.
No. All right. Well, we're going to take our final time out. Got a lot of comments, a lot of people that have weighed in, including one of our regulars, Marvel Jesus, who said blocking comment. We're not blocking any comments at all. There's no block. I don't even have the ability to do that. But no, you're welcome to comment. He made the comment, tell me you have no confidence in Dak without telling me. But yeah, it's a serious a serious thing. They're going to have to address it for sure. I'm sure we'll know a lot more even as soon as tomorrow. All right, when we come back, Coach, I want to hit on a couple other things that we did see on the field tonight. Want to get your thoughts on that. Cowboys play their preseason opener, though, and they lose to the Rams 31-21. They've got the Ravens coming up next Saturday night. The next two games before the regular season are both going to be here in Texas at AT&T, so maybe that'll help a little bit. We'll get some final thoughts, final segment coming up next. This is the Cowboys Squad Show. Well, one thing that could help, when you're trying to get going for a game, how about fueling up and turning it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion? It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. So let's be honest, some days, if you're on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. So golf, all about good times with good people, good flavors, of course. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the bev card. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. So again, whether you're meeting up with friends, trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through, order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today. Okay, here we go. Final segment of the Cowboys Squad Show. The Cowboys fall to the Rams 31-21. They'll again have tomorrow off, back on the field next week, and they'll be breaking camp in Oxnard on Thursday. One thing I did not know, but during the game, a couple little things that I thought was pretty cool. I can't even read my own notes. I'm sorry about that, Coach.
I do that all the time, buddy. I do that all the time. You see these cheaters? I got to have them on all the time now. That's a sign of age.
Yeah, we got to see Luke Schoonmaker a little bit. He had one catch, but this Tyler Neville story, I did not know all the details about him, but 20 surgeries and was born deaf and had surgery to fix his hearing. And I mean, the guy just keeps battling and man, what a great story he is, man.
No, yeah, to get yourself in position to get in a game like this after going through all that adversity. Yeah, that's something he's going to be able to hang his hat on for a long time. So, I mean, anytime you can get a chance to get in a preseason NFL game and get that opportunity, it's awesome.
And we saw, we didn't get to see everybody. I saw something, we didn't really get a good look at it, but CeeDee Lamb getting flagged for a penalty for inadvertently bumping into a ref. He didn't even see the ref. He's just walking down the sideline watching the game and got flagged, and they got a 15-yard penalty.
No, yeah, and they should. If you're crapping around up there in the white and the ball is pushed down the field, and the side judge is moving and he runs into you, you should get a penalty, and they should fine you. I mean, how many times you have to be told, stay out of the white, stay out of the white so the official can run. I don't. And then who are the get back coaches on that staff now? And you got to have some guys getting some guys out of the way. So, Yeah, I mean, when the ball gets pushed down the field like that, and you get officials moving, I get it. CD was excited, and Wingo's had split him and was gone, and it looked like it was going to be a big play, and they interfered with him, so it was a big play, and you almost negate the big play because you're excited. There's a time for all that, but it's not out there where the official's trying to work.
All right. Well, we got a little bit of a glimpse of some of the Cowboys receivers. Again, it was an up and down game, at least for Joe Milton, but we got to see Ryan Flournoy, who looked pretty good, I thought. Jalen Brooks, wasn't expecting him to make a splash, but I thought he did as well. We got to see, as I said, Schoonmaker, and then you mentioned Jonathan Mingo, and even Jalen Tolbert was out there.
Yeah, Tolbert started. Cropper was in the game. You had Cropper return a few kicks. Let's see all those guys play. We know what we have in our starters. Let's get them as much playing time as we can. You'd like to have given them more success by giving them more catches and opportunities to catch the football and make something happen. But we've already talked about it. Your quarterback had a rough go of it early. So, you're going to have to spend a lot of time teaching off film in this scenario and taking guys into the film room and talking to them about, I know you didn't get the ball here, but let's go through your route. Let's go through your reads. Let's go through, make sure we're running the correct depth, all those things that you want to use as a teaching tool. And I mean, I do anticipate that. I anticipate the Cowboys using this as a teaching tool on every side of it, on the defensive side just as well. And guys taking the correct step, getting in the correct gaps, and doing what they need to do. So, all you can really say at the end of the day here is this is a teaching opportunity, and hopefully this team will move forward from that. And other than Milton, I haven't seen the injury update, so hopefully you don't have any other big injuries.
All right. Yeah, and what did you think of the rookie running back Moffa?
Fine. I mean, he looks comfortable in the football game, and he's fine. I mean, it's really hard to evaluate when you're just you're giving it a first glance. I mean, I'll look at it on the film, and I'll have a better understanding. When we come on here for the next squad show, I'll have gotten a better look and a better in-depth look. But I mean, he looked like he ran with somewhat of a pretty good job of running with his eyes, because that's what you want to see a back do. All right.
Well, hey, there's like we said a few minutes ago, right? I mean, I would think, what as a coach, when you're changing and you're getting back on that bus and you're heading back to Oxnard, you're already thinking about, can't wait to get back on the field and can't wait to get back into the film. And
you want to get back. You can get back tonight, and you're going to get up first thing in the morning. You're going to evaluate the film with the staff. You're going to go over how many mental mistakes were made. What do we need to do to clean this up? You're going to probably have to give some sort of a position report to how your guys did. And then I'm sure the players, if they're off tomorrow, they'll be in to watch the film Monday. So it's just you're going through all this, trying to figure out what you can clean up and what you can move so that you can, continue to get better. And so we've cut this up about as many ways as we can cut it up. It's not a very good first showing. Let's don't kid ourselves. Now let's try to use it as a teaching tool, and let's try to move forward here.
All right. One final thing before we go. Stephen Jones was on the Cowboys pregame show tonight, and he was asked about Micah, and all he would say is, we'll continue to grind it out. So it's been pretty quiet since last week. Any sense, anything new, do you think?
No, I sense what I got out of that. What he said was Micah's under contract.
Yeah.
He should be here. He is under contract. And guess what? Week 1, if we don't have a deal done, he's expected to play, or you start losing those game checks, which I believe is about 1.2 million. So, I don't gather any sense of urgency about what Stephen Jones said. I don't gather any sense of urgency about what Jerry's doing. None of that posture feels like they are under any kind of, we got to get it done right now mentality, where I thought this thing was done. And I really do believe they had a deal in place, and it was for a bunch of money. And for whatever reason, it fell apart. And now there's hurt feelings. And I almost wonder if that's why Jerry didn't judge Jerry's seat to step in, and he sent Steven over there to do it. So, you almost sense, well, is Jerry, Jerry's still brewing on that red ass he's got.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, always great to get to work with you. Always blessed by your insight, and we'll see what the big week. We were waiting for this first game. We got it. Got the video. Got the tape. Saw some good things. Saw some bad things, and now this is what you do. This is the work, and big week coming up before they come back home next week against the Ravens.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see, and we'll keep up with these. Try to keep up with some injury updates and try to keep up with some transactions, because I can guarantee you they're going to have some.
All right. Well, I think as of now, and this could change, but our next squad show I think is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, and then I think we're going to be on again after the game on Saturday. But we'll know. We'll send out the link. And, but in the meantime, be sure and check out Marcus and Landon and the daily Locked On Cowboys podcast, which I know that you already do. Be sure and check that out. They're all over it, and they will be up to date with everything beginning tomorrow. I think they're even on right now. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up, though. The final score tonight, the Rams beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys fall to the Rams in LA. The preseason, though, is here. Football is back, and it was great to see the Cowboys on the field, even though they lost 31-21 the final. This has been the Cowboys Squad Show.